And it's the time of the year for list week. Yes. Hey guys, what's up? It's a culture detective here investigating your favorite lists. And today, it is December 15th, and you know what that means. That means it's the beginning of list week 2022. So, yeah, here we go, guys. This is the time of the year again where I will essentially do a bunch of videos where I talk about my favorite and my least favorite of literally everything in 2022. And of course, the list has to start off with the most unimportant yet the most personal lists, and that is worst days and best days. And in this video, I'll be talking about my top 10 worst days of 2022. So, first of all, let me just say that 2022 is probably the best year of my life so far. I've enjoyed a lot of everything this year. I have improved socially, health wise. I'm just doing very well. And because of that, there aren't that many bad days in 2022. But you also need to put one thing in mind, and that is this is the first year in my life where I did not live in Hong Kong. And so, of course, that brings about a lot of pain and suffering as well. So, anyway, starting off at number 10, we have April 1st to 3rd. Now, I say top 10 worst days, but really it's top 10 periods of times that are the worst for me. April 1st to April 3rd is incredibly stressful because at that time I was planning to leave my Airbnb and move into an apartment. And it is the first time in my whole freaking life to move into an apartment. And the thing is, I didn't know what to do. I thought I was being scammed because the manager of my apartment, actually exactly this one right now, didn't text me back. He didn't respond to me. I already paid. And my mom even had suspicions like, ooh, what if you got scammed? And I also plan to move into this apartment on April 1st, but for some reason, there's a bit of an error or something, and I couldn't move in until April 4th, so I was literally panicking. I was days away from moving. I'm already packing. I don't know what to do. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. I need to leave this Airbnb. If I can't move into this apartment, do I go to another Airbnb? What the fuck should I do? And on April 2nd, my mom's friend, who also lives in LA, took me around, took me to Target and helped me buy furniture for this apartment. And on the same day, I lost a chunk of my tooth. You see this little crescent? All right, at number 9, it is October 28th, the race to Santa Clarita. This is another extremely stressful day for me for one exact reason. And that reason needs a little bit of background. So, my Japanese friend Aoba worked on a feature film for the first time in her life, which is absolutely insane. And I was a little jealous when I found out about that. One day, Aoba said on her Instagram story that the feature film she's working on needs PAs. And if I want to join and help out with the feature film, I can just DM her and DM the director of the feature film. And so you know what kind of person I am. If you've been watching this channel since 2018, 2019, you know I'm a shy, introverted guy and I don't DM strangers like that. So I really debated with myself whether I should do it. You know what? Maybe I shouldn't trouble them. Maybe I shouldn't try. Maybe I shouldn't risk it. And also, I've never worked on a feature film before. I'm kind of nervous, blah, blah, blah. But at the end, I told myself, you know what? Fuck it. I'm in the USA. USA is a land of freedom, and LA is a land of dreams, whatever. I'll fucking DM the director. Screw it. So I did it. And she didn't respond for one day. And then the next day, she didn't respond as well. I waited 2 whole days for her to respond. And I was kind of stressed out because Pepper, another friend of mine, you've probably heard of her multiple times already. She literally shared the same brain cells with me and also saw Aoba's Instagram story and DM'd the director. And she immediately got a response like a couple hours after she DM'd her. So I was like, what the fuck? She responded to Pepper, but she didn't respond to me. So does this mean Pepper and Aoba get to hang out and join a feature film for the first time in their lives, and I get to sulk in my bedroom like a loser? And so, yeah, I was particularly stressed out on that day. The whole day, I couldn't do anything. All I could think about is, when will the director respond to me? When will the director respond to me? Thankfully, she responded. All right, at number 8, we have April 27th to 30th, Strange Fruit. Now, these few days and also the days after this period of time might be my most depressing days of the year. I think I was at my saddest in these days, and that's, I think, is partially because I came to the USA all by myself and I'm living all alone right now, and I'm finally grasping the reality of that, and my mind is starting to break apart because of that. But the other big reason, the more surface reason, the more apparent, obvious reason, is because of Pepper. So Pepper is another Hong Konger who is literally the same age as me as of today. Um, and she's also a film major. What are the fucking chances of that? So ever since I've met Pepper, I've always wanted to be friends with her and get close to her and talk to her and hang out with her. But for some reason, after spring break, which is mid-April, Pepper has been acting kind of Pepper had been acting kind of cold towards me. I and Pepper were taking the same class during that time, which is last semester. We were taking the same film class, and during class, I've always wanted to chat with her, except every time I chat with her, Thomas shows up. Thomas, the Chinese guy who is an American citizen. And because Thomas is here and I don't want to exclude him, every time Pepper's around, I have to speak in English as well. And because of that, because I and Pepper didn't get the time to speak Cantonese with each other for like 5 months straight, I really couldn't communicate with her. And she acted more and more cold blooded towards me. I was really disillusioned. I used to walk her to the bus stop every time the class finishes, which is like 10 p.m. It's fucking dangerous, right? It's LA, come on. But at that point, she started to walk alone and she didn't want people to accompany her. And I know this doesn't seem like a huge deal, but it is around the same time I started seeing, people like JT and Potter, my other Hong Konger friends. They all have their own social lives. They all have tons of friends. They all have things to do. They all got people inviting them out for dinner and lunches and all that shit. And I was not like that. I was not social. I didn't have that many friends. When I came to USA, one of my biggest goals, one of my biggest objectives is to make as many friends as possible to improve my social skills and to live. I want to live a life. I want to know people. I don't want to be a loser anymore. But it appears I had failed. But I didn't because, check out tomorrow's best days list. And around the same time, I also found out that I have lost 11 pounds ever since I've left Hong Kong. And that's incredibly sad. I try my best to eat as much food as possible, but of course, I just lost a lot of weight. All right, at number 7, I'm giving it to actually last year, which is December 18th to 20th, 2021. So yeah, because I made the worst days list last year before this period of time, so this period of time ended up on this year's list. But yeah, December 18th to 20th, 2021 is honestly extremely depressing because it is the last few days before I leave Hong Kong. So obviously it felt like the end of the world for me. On December 18th, I had my last dinner with Natalie, or the last lunch actually, and it was actually depressing. Saying goodbye to my old classmates at school wasn't that depressing. Saying goodbye to people like Leia and Pink and Zara and Miriam weren't that depressing or anything. But for some reason, farewell with Natalie really hit me. I almost cried when she left. When I saw her in the MTR going away, I actually felt extremely sad. And on the exact same day, I went to bed extremely late, which is bad. My clean pajamas that freshly came out of the drying machine fell onto the ground at the kitchen, which made me extremely fucking pissed. And also a cockroach came out of nowhere and hopped onto my left knee, because why the fuck not? So that's that. Oh, I also forgot to mention the cockroach battle that I had right there in my bathroom, but it's not that bad. It's terrible, but it's not that bad. I would say that is a dishonorable mention in this list. All right, at number 6, we have November 15th to 21st. Yes, this is 7 days long, or actually 8 days long. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 7 days. And the reason why is because I got COVID. So yeah, I got COVID for the first time in my life, which is very sad because I want to never get COVID, not because I want to be healthy and happy, but because I want to brag to people that I've never gotten COVID before. That is the sole reason why I don't want to ever get COVID. But unfortunately, duty calls, destiny calls, and I got COVID thanks to Potter. And it was pretty awful. Yeah, especially the first 3 days. I had terrible sore throat. I got fever. I felt really cold and tired. I had aches. I had lost appetite, and I started coughing a little bit later. Even after recovering from COVID, I coughed for 2 weeks straight. And yeah, I think the worst thing with getting COVID isn't even the COVID itself, but the fact that you can't go out of your house. You can't go out of your apartment and do things. Your entire week schedule is fucking ruined. And I can't even go out to buy food. So I had to figure out a way to order food online so that I can, maybe survive. So yeah, it's pretty bad. All right, at number 5, I am giving it to December 31st, 2021. Now, this is the day where it all began. This is the day where the madness, the insanity, the pain, the nightmares, this is exactly the fucking day where it all began. Why, you may ask? Well, I arrived in Los fucking Angeles. That's why. The first day, literally the first hour I arrived in this goddamn city, shit is already happening to me. Bad shit is already happening to me. The flight I'm supposed to be on from Seattle to LA got delayed because of the snow. So instead of flying to LA on December 29th, I came here on December 31st. And the moment I arrived in LA, guess what? Delta Airlines forgot to put my luggage on the plane. So yeah, for about the next 2 or 3 days, I only had one luggage with me. I had 2 luggages originally, but the other one is lost by Delta. Thankfully, they found it and they returned it. But yeah, it's just very hectic. I remember how hectic it was on that day because there are issues with renting cars. We didn't know where to have dinner. It was kind of a mess. I and my mom rushed into Walmart, not Walmart. Oh, I forgot the name of the store. It's not Target. We rushed into some store. I think it's Target, right? No, it's Whole Foods. We rushed into Whole Foods to quickly buy some water and potato chips and whatever. And it was extremely hectic and stressful and anxiety inducing. First day in LA, already ruined. All right, at number 4, I'm giving it to May 13th with Undertow. I think this is the peak of stress. I mean, I literally mentioned it in one of my college update videos. I think I was at my most stressed out on this day because multiple things were happening to me. Not only was I still going through a very sad phase because I'm grasping the reality that I'm living alone in a country I've never really lived in before, and also Pepper continued to act cold towards me. So I worked at the well for a period of time, and Pepper also worked at the well, but in a well next door, and then well next, in another well. And Pepper showed up at my well, but completely ignored me, as if I didn't even exist, which really hurt me, which made me think that Pepper hated me. And then on the same day, I was already living in this apartment at that point, and I had a couple of roommates. One of them is a Canadian guy, white guy, really tall, and he kept on complaining that I didn't wash the pots and the plates. And that's true. I may not be the best roommate. First of all, this is my first time living alone with roommates, and second of all, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to use the dishwasher at that point. But yeah, Jared, the roommate, complained it to me, and it made me feel really bad about myself. When I came back home, I honestly felt extremely stressed. I really had a lot of self-loathing on that day. I almost cried. I acted really sad in front of Cindy and Jared, my roommates, and they were even like, "Are you okay?" And I said yes, even though I'm fucking not. But if I say no, I'm not okay, then they would ask more questions and try to comfort me. And I don't want that because that's annoying and awkward and embarrassing. I don't want people to know what's wrong with me. I don't want people to know what's wrong with my life. I need to keep that shit to myself. Or to you if you're watching it. So yeah, that was kind of stressed. All right, and number three, it is November 4th to 6th. Dress up or shut up. On November 4th, I helped Aoba make her short film, but more importantly, it is the day of enrolling into classes. The most important class in my film program is called Film 33. It is the ultimate class in film production. And I've been dying to get into this class for so long. And guess what? The moment I got to enroll into this class, the class got full. It's it's full. I can't get in. Now that's not the end of the world. I can still crash that class and hope the professor lets me in next semester, but still that made me kind of anxious. But things got way worse on November 6th. I already uploaded a vlog about it, panicking at Uniqlo. But essentially, I went to church that day because it's a Sunday, and because I've been going to church less and less, some of the people at church are beginning to question how Christian I really am. Or at least I think they are questioning me. Maybe I'm just being paranoid. Maybe they're just trying to chit chat. Maybe it's just small talk. But my paranoid ass is thinking that they're questioning my faith, and I feel interrogated. It was extremely awkward. The car ride, when the teacher from church drove me back home and started questioning me, what do you think is the meaning of being a Christian? And I didn't know how the fuck to answer. So yeah. But what's even worse is afterwards I had to go to Uniqlo because there's the Asian World Film Festival, and to attend that I need to wear fancy ass clothes. And I wanted to go to Uniqlo with Pepper to buy clothes together, but of course Pepper had already gone because why would she go there with me? So I went there myself like a total idiot. This is the first time I shopped in Uniqlo all by myself, and I panicked. I almost had a fucking panic attack in Uniqlo. I was overwhelmed with clothes and pants and whatnot, and I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to look. And to make things even fucking worse, I lost the box to my earbuds that I listen to music with, which is important. Music is a source of life. I lost it and I was homicidal at that point. I was so fucking mad. And thankfully, after I came back home after Uniqlo, I found my earbuds box again. A good Samaritan placed it right outside the door to my apartment. I don't know how, but that magically happened. On that exact same day, I spent like a whole hour and a half doing a biology homework just to submit it late by a second, and I couldn't submit it anymore. And then on top of that, clean clothes in the dryer, in the drying machine, are placed on top of the dryer because someone else is using it. So clean fucking clothes touching somewhere else other than my closet makes me mad. Here we go at number two. We have February 27th to March 6th. And oh boy, this is where it starts to get into the danger zone. Yeah, so I was living at my second host family at that point. So my timeline in LA is basically, in terms of where I live, is the first 22 days in my first host family, and then my second host family, and then a month at an Airbnb, and then an apartment. And now I'm in that apartment. So at that point, I was living in my second host family, and one day, the host of that family suddenly told me to leave. And I didn't know what to say. I was like, oh, okay. But I was like, what the fuck? Like, in the inside, I was like, what the fuck? Turns out, the whole time, the whole fucking time, the host already expected me to leave by March 6th because apparently the host's granddaughter will be born and he wants to use my room as the baby room. So I already had to leave by March 6th. And yeah, I at that point I only had a couple of weeks to figure out a new place to live, which is very stressful, very hectic. This is also the first time I had to find a place to live. I mean, for the first host family, I didn't have to worry because this agency called the ISP, International Student Placement, um, figure out where I'm gonna live. They do all this procedure. And then for the second host family, they do the same. They just reassign me to a new house. But I asked the ISP if they can bring me to a third host family, and they fucking denied me because they were like, you know what, at this point, we're already in the middle of a semester, like it's not going to be easy. So I need to look for a place all by myself. So the first thing I did was I emailed the college, the international student office at my college, and asked them for housing lists. And they actually gave me a list of houses where the house owner would, be willing to rent out a room, a bedroom, for the students of the college. And I looked at the list and I called a bunch of numbers and I was panicking and stuff. And most of the people I called didn't respond, or they are not renting the room anymore. There were only a couple of options. They were both kind of expensive. And then I found out that my bank account, my Bank of America account got fucking hacked and it got shut down. So it doesn't even fucking matter anymore, because if I want to live in these rental bedrooms, in these rental houses, I need to pay with my bank card. But my bank account is fucking hacked and it's shut down. I can't use my bank card anymore. I only have a credit card, and I can't pay rent with a credit card. It has to be bank card. So the only thing I could do is the Airbnb. So for the last, I think I had to move out by March 6th. I only found a place to live by March 4th. 2 days before departure. 2 fucking days before departure. I finally found an Airbnb, and multiple Airbnbs denied me. Like, some of the Airbnb owners didn't even respond to me and told me that I can't live there for some reason because the owner of the Airbnb is gone and out of town or some shit like that. And yeah, at the end, I had no choice. I only got one choice. I only have one Airbnb that is very fucking expensive. But the only thing good about the Airbnb is that it's very close to my college campus. I only had one choice and I picked it. And thank God, the Airbnb owner actually said yes. After a Facebook screen call, FaceTime call interview. Yeah, March 3rd was particularly intense for me. The 24 hours of March 3rd is absolutely fucking insane. Early in the morning, I rushed to Bank of America to ask about my card, to ask about my account. They told me that I can never work with Bank of America anymore in my whole fucking life because I might be a terrorist or something. And then I went to check the rental house, and it's bad. It's got popcorn ceiling, which has asbestos in it, which is cancer. I don't want to get fucking cancer. I came back home. Okay, fine, I'm going to live in an Airbnb. Got into an Airbnb just to have the Airbnb owner deny me. I fucking panicked. And then only on March 4th do I find an Airbnb to live. And then on March 6th, I had to leave. I packed everything. I was ready to move. And guess what? Jonah, who is a guy from the church, he was planning to drive me to the new Airbnb. And we got locked out of the car for like 3 hours. So that's great. All right. And that leaves us to the number one spot. My worst days of the year. I'm already really tired from all the talking. Welp, drum roll please. January 12th to 21st, Happy House. So yeah, as you can probably tell, my life here in LA, in the USA, has been tumultuous. And it's been full of ups and downs, but mostly downs at the beginning and mostly ups near the end, like right now. And it's been a constant rise from terrible to good to great. So, of course, my first few weeks living in LA is absolutely fucking terrible. Why? Because of my first host family. I fucking hate them so much. Yeah, so the first time I lived all by myself in LA, not really all by myself, but with a host family. 60-year-old white mom and her 20-something-year-old son, who is fat, tall, big, lazy, works from home, no life, shut in. And this is also the first time in my life living with white people, honestly, or non Hong Kongers, right? And it was extremely stressful. It started off kind of fine, like the host was like really nice, like, ooh, I've had Asian students living in my house before. Ooh, do you miss Tokyo? Because she thought Hong Kong is inside Japan, so she's always like, do you miss Tokyo? At first it was fine, even though the house is kind of stinks, it's kind of dirty, and the bathroom, it's a shared bathroom, which I hate, but you know what? I can stand it, right? I can stand it. But it got extremely worse from January 12th to 21st, because every fucking day during these 9 days, 10 days is hell. Every single day, the host, the mom finds an excuse, finds something that I did, and just bombard me with complaints. Oh, what? You woke up late? Well, then you're not going to get breakfast because you woke up late. Don't come back home too late because then you're going to make a lot of noise. Oh, please don't go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. Oh, please eat your sandwich with hands because this is how we Americans do it. Oh, please don't put peanut butter on fucking waffles because that's not how you eat it. Oh, please don't eat fruit in the middle of the night because you're going to attract cockroaches or whatever. Like, there's so many fucking rules. Please wipe the sink, beside the sink, with an alcohol towel. And sometimes I don't want to use the alcohol towel. Sometimes I use toilet paper. I do that all the time. And she's like, oh, what? Why are you wasting my toilet paper? And then after drinking a can of soda, I wash the can of soda in the sink, rinse it because it's sweet, it's got sugary stuff in it. And then the host saw me and she said, well, why are you wasting my water? What the actual fucking fuck? I wash my clothes in 2 batches because back in Hong Kong, that's how I do it. All the light colored clothes, 1 batch. All the dark colored clothes, another batch. And she's like, why are you washing your clothes in 2 batches? You're wasting my water. What in the actual fuck? What in the actual fuck? It's so... Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't... At some point, I got so stressed from all that complaining and yelling and stuff. Like, she didn't even yell at me. Like, when she told me these complaints, she said it with a smile, with a big fat smile. But I can tell under that smile, it's a fucking evil venom. Okay? And it's so, oh my god, like, just me thinking about it right now already pissing me off so much. On January 12th, I was going to college. My bus got late by 40 minutes because Los fucking Angeles, because the public transportation system in Los Angeles is absolute fucking shit. The metro system in LA, it barely exists. People don't even take it because it's full of piss and alcohol. And I went to class, and apparently one of my classmates got COVID. So I was exposed. So I was already really, really stressed. And then on January 13th to 14th, I quarantined myself at home. And because I was really scared of getting COVID at that point. And my host was so fucking annoying. On January 15th, I went to Trader Joe's and I almost had a panic attack. I tried to find water. I thought Trader Joe's is like any other convenience store, any other supermarket. I tried to find water in Trader Joe's. I can't fucking find water in Trader fucking Joe's, and I almost had a panic attack. I ran around Trader Joe's like a fucking idiot. Okay, fine. I couldn't find anything. So I took a bus back home, and the bus stop, Barrington Avenue, it's full of trash and shit, and it started raining. And I didn't have food because the host family didn't allow me to cook lunch by myself, so I can only buy lunch, right? And for some reason, it's Los fucking Angeles, so everything is expensive. A piece of bread is so expensive for some fucking reason. A McDonald's, a Big Mac meal is 10 fucking US dollars. 10, fine, whatever, I'll buy it. It's not healthy, but whatever. I bought the lunch, and then I had the groceries, and then like I came back home, and it's so annoying, and I'm all wet because it's raining. And it's rare that LA is raining, but of course it rains on that day in order to make it worse for me. And then at night, we had KFC, because healthy, because America, yay. And then on January 16th, it got even fucking worse. I went to church, and I almost had a panic attack in a Tesla. I've never sat in a Tesla before. I don't know how to open the fucking door to the Tesla. The woman driving the Tesla is like an 80-year-old woman or something, and I know it's cold, and we didn't open any windows. There's no air con in the car, and I almost suffocated. And I was so stressed out. On that day, I went to the church, and after church, the woman, I thank her for it, by the way. She brought me to a place, a restaurant, to eat Chinese food, and there's leftover, so we had to take out, we had to put it in a box, and we also bought some egg tarts, and she told me, well, if you can't cook, at least you can bring food back home, right? Back to your host family. And I'm like, yeah, probably. So on that day, I called the host. Now, I didn't even call her. I texted her asking her if it's okay to bring food back home. I'm just bringing food back home. You don't allow me to cook. You're not allowing me to cook. So fine, if you don't allow me to cook, then I'm going to bring food back home. And then she's like, well, what food are you bringing? What weird non-American food are you bringing? What, Chinese food like dogs and cats? Ooh, weird. Don't bring it here. Weird. Don't bring the COVID food here. And I was like, fine, I'll put it in the fridge. And then she's like, nope, you cannot put it in the fridge in the kitchen. You can only put it in the fridge in your room, because I had a small fridge in my bedroom. Fine, I'll put it in the fridge in my room. And then she's like, no, wait, I don't think that's enough space. Can I look at the box of food? Can I see how big it is? So I took a fucking picture and sent it to her, and she's like, nope, it's too big. What the fuck is your problem? Do you want me to fucking starve to death, you bitch? Oh! And I was even being nice. My mom told me, oh, you bought some egg tarts? You know what? You should offer some egg tarts to your host family. And so I offered them egg tarts. Next morning on January 17th, I offered them egg tarts. I offered the host egg tarts. I offered her son's egg tarts. And both of them denied. Because it's too weird. Ooh, weird Chinese shit. It's not even Chinese. Egg tarts originated from fucking Portugal. On that night, I was so pissed. I was like, I fucking hate this. I was filming an album review in my room. I was like, I hate this city. I hate this town. Like, I'm not having a good time. I hate this house. And of course, the host heard me, because American walls are so fucking thin. So she heard me, and guess what? She backstabbed me. She emailed the ISF to kick me out of the house. She kicked me out of her fucking house. And I swear to God, if she didn't kick me out of the house, I would have left anyways. I would have emailed ISP and tell them I need to get the fuck out of the house. She kicked me out. And she didn't even ask me what's wrong. She didn't even ask me, oh, I heard you being angry. I heard you complaining, can you tell me what's wrong? No, she just directly kicked me out. Yeah. So, so I got kicked out of the house. I immediately wrote an amazing email to the ISP complaining every single fucking problem that the host has. And of course, the ISP is secretly friends with her, so they were like, it's probably your problem. And then to make things worse, on January 20th, I lost the keys to the house. I lost it. It disappeared. I went to Century City food court. I had lunch, and then it fucking disappeared. I came back home, and I was already like, fuck. Now I look bad. And so the host charged me $130 something just to replace all the fucking keyholes in the house and all the sets of keys. So yeah, that was bad. I'm so glad I left. Leaving that house is one of the best decisions I've made this year, because that house is fucking hell. Me living alone all by myself, I get to choose what I eat. I get to choose when I wake up. I get to choose when to wash my clothes. I get to have my own bathroom. It's fucking amazing to live alone. Living alone is amazing. I will never live in a host family ever again because that shit fucking sucks. So, yeah, these are my worst days of the year. Comments below, let me know what are your worst days. And, Trader Joe's.